Hello, and welcome to this little mini webinar on hair and beauty prices and boundaries. My name is Jackie Case from VIP Hair For You Training, and I'll be taking you through this 10-minute or so webinar. So welcome. Charging properly, communicating clearly, and feeling respected is what we all want within this industry. So let me see how I can help you going forward. Many hairdressers, they undercharge, and why hairdressers undercharge is for this reason. Price is based on fear, not value. And the reason for that is, I don't know about you, but how many of you actually pay to have your hair or beauty services done? A lot of people, if you work within the industry, if you work within a salon, or you know people, a lot of times it's your friends that are doing your hair for you or beauty treatments. So therefore, you never really get the full experience of what it feels like for a customer. And plus the fact we sometimes take it for granted because we know them, we know the environment, rather than actually going in somewhere fresh and new. So a lot of times, because we don't experience ourselves, we don't value it. We compare ourselves to others. We feel awkward talking about money because it's not something we ever got taught. We got taught the amazing skill, but we never got taught how to basically our services determine whether we go to Blackpool for a holiday or Bermuda. So, but we never really got taught how that's to have that awkward conversation. A lot of times when I worked in a salon, we used to have a receptionist. I'm sure you do this now, and you do your service and you run to a desk and you drop your client off and then you run away. Whereas obviously, if you work for yourself, you don't have that joy. It's down to you to actually have that conversation about money. Over delivering and feeling worthy because it's us, it's our skills. We're doing this, and we feel that if we don't like it or they don't get what they want, then we feel it's an attack on us. I do not feel comfortable charging that much. How many of you have ever said that to yourself or to somebody else? The true cost of our services are price is not just about your time. It includes the following: time in training and experience. You know, it takes a good few years to really get into this profession and really understand it. And your training, you may have invested in yourself privately, you may have done training at college, an apprenticeship over 2 to 3 years. That took time. It was not something that you just did overnight. So your training is invaluable. Your physical effort, the amount of strain that goes onto your body, you're standing on your feet, you're talking to customers, you're on it all the time. It's physically draining. You're emotional because you're talking to customers and they will tell you all sorts of different things. And we are supposed to listen and we're supposed to be actively listening to them. And we kind of forget our own emotions in the process. Mental focus. You'll have to get it right. So you're concentrating all the time. Your overheads and your products and your equipment. Don't forget your equipment. You've had to pay for it, which means you should get it back within the services that you're doing. Recovery time. And how long did that last the client? How long does that service last the client? Because if you're only charging, small amounts of money and you take that divided, let's say a cut and color lasts somebody 6 to 8 weeks, a facial 4 weeks, divide that by how many days a week. And you're talking, sometimes the time you stretch it out, sometimes some services are only like minimum 50p a day. So, but we struggle, if we said to a client, oh, that's cut and blow dry 50p a day, they'll be like, oh, okay, no problem at all. Think how much you spend on coffee a day. You know, our services don't even last them. And we know that, especially within the hairdressing industry, you can put an outfit on, you can put some clothes on, makeup on, but if your hair don't look right, you just don't feel right, you've ruined that outfit. So how valuable is that service to that customer? Now, core pricing formula is based on your hourly goal and your service time, your products and your overheads. So let's keep it simple. If you go and have a car done at service, it's normally maintenance or their materials, and then their labor. And that's the same within hairdressing. It's our labor and our materials that we're using. Confidence pricing formula. Your skills deserve recognition. And based on your prices, that should be your experience and your skill level. I think anybody can cut hair or learn to cut hair, but it's how you make that client feel. And people pay thousands for good customer service. So make sure you're giving your clients the best customer service, and then you can really justify your prices. Your demand. If you find that you've got to the point where your diary is full, that's when your prices need to go up. That's how it works within a salon. If you notice within a salon, they have stylists, they have senior stylists, they'll have star director. And the way that they have actually worked up the ranks is by their demand. When you have the demand, you can increase the prices. That's good business. Emotional labor, and then your own living expenses. And that should then give you your final price. This allows you to grow your prices and grow you. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else because your lifestyle, your wants, your needs are very individual, and charge with integrity. You are charging, and if they don't want to pay your prices, then they're not your customers. You can then ask them, unfortunately, that's my prices. You can check out other prices elsewhere. And don't be afraid to push back at clients when they question your prices. You're not a market, you're not there to barter, you're there because you're giving good quality services. Annual pricing review, and this should be something that you do on a regular basis. Things have gone up so much over our time. A lot of times what's gone up is the actual product. So what you don't want to be doing is having your prices, and then by the time you add up everything that you've had to spend to do that client, you're left with not even the minimum wage. So please make sure that you're actually looking at what's actually going up, what are the prices, what are your costs? And that could be the price of you living at home, your rent, your mortgage, your council tax, all of those then have to come into your prices that you then charge your customer as well. Your current prices need to be reviewed. Your inflation rate needs to be done on a regular basis. Skills growth and demand, and update your rate. Now, what I tend to do is when I do my prices or when I train people to do their prices, I always ask them to go for higher prices. So if you aim for higher, you can always do deals and special offers for a certain period of time. Whereas if your prices are low to start off with, you have no wriggle room to be able to do deals or offers. So, and plus the fact it's a lot harder to put your prices up. So if you've been doing a client and let's say, for example, you've been doing it for £45 and then suddenly you want to put it to 50, it's a lot harder. Whereas if you're trying to say my prices are from £50, but for the month of June or July, I'm going to be doing it for 40, then that is a great way to be able to get clients in at a certain period of time. Plus it creates that demand that you're looking for. And it also gives limited offer at that price. So have them from this price. And then what you can do is when you're with that customer, you can say, for this month, I'm doing it for this price. Rather than saying, right, let's do 50% here, 20% there. Do you know what I mean? Because then clients are always looking for deals and discounts from you. These are my prices, but for this month, I'm doing it for this. And you can change it. You can do cut and blow dries, you can do facials, you can do nails, whatever your services are, do it for a higher price, and then for that particular month you can do it lower, or you can do combination deals and things like that. You can do some great packages, but if your prices are too low to start off with, you will have no room for wriggle, no room to be able to offer any services. Boundaries that protect your income. Prices fail when boundaries fail. We cover, when you're with me, what we'll do is we'll go through how we late arrivals, cancellations, discounted requests. Can you just little extras that they want to put on, you want to put on, and you'll learn to feel more calm, professional, and confident when you're working with customers. So clear pricing and boundaries will attract better kind of clients. You'll attract respect. There are people out there that just drive deals. And then what happens is those clients are deal chasers, not necessarily because they're coming to you because they're cheap, not because you're good. And that's something that you want to be looking at. Reduces the stress, improves retention. Never just think about today's customers, always think about your future customers. At the end of the day, you want a business. Increases satisfaction. You know, you're doing your job and you're getting rewarded for it. You're not having to think, oh my God, I need to get so many clients in before I can pay this bill. You've got it and you're constantly being rewarded. And I do this with the case method. So first of all, we'll get some clarity. Know your numbers, know your value. Awareness, and communicate this without apology. Once you have awareness, you can actually you'll have strong conviction behind it. You'll believe in it. Strategies, we're going to look at ways to put these into alignment with you. As I said before, sometimes, do deals and then you can do deals for certain months. And then empowerment. So we're going to get you to have something, a clear goal, clear vision, and then you'll be able to move forward. And you can also have support. So if this is something you're interested in, then please do reach out. I do a 30-day reset where we can really look at your prices, give you support what you need over the next 30 days. I also do clarity calls, so you can just reach out to me and let's have a chat and see where I can help you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully I look forward to meeting you very, very soon.